Okay, today is November 20th and ITS 128, and we are this week we're starting chapter 9, which is it talks about classes and classes as in the programs that we have been writing. Now, we've been using classes all along, just like we've been using methods all along. We were using methods before we were actually calling them methods, and same with classes. So it's just kind of a formalization. And so the lecture I gave in yesterday's class was a pretty good lecture on chapter 9. It covered the important things that you need to know for your quiz, and there's only one quiz on chapter 9. There's one quiz on chapter 8, which is character strings and so on, and then one quiz on chapter 9. And then starting next week, I'd like to do some more interesting things. I'd like to touch on databases a little bit. That's kind of my specialty. Anyway, so I was going to have a assignment 12 for you today, and I wanted to do it first, and I finished doing it this morning, and then I got sidetracked, so I never wrote the assignment. But what I'd like to do is do the assignment for you folks today, and do a preliminary version of the assignment, and that'll be good because then I'll be able to have some pictures to be able to put in on the assignment page, so you can actually see what you're supposed to be building. So I'm going to switch over to share my screen here, and as I said, we are in the first week of chapter 9 here. Classes and multi-form projects. So I'm sorry I have not posted up. I usually get these posted up right away, but I have not posted up yesterday's video because I ended up making 4 videos yesterday. I just haven't finished it, but I'll do that later this afternoon. But what assignment 12 is going to be is, all right, first of all, I did not cover this yesterday, so I suppose I should mention this part of that chapter, and it is the very last section of chapter 9, how to create multi-form applications. Okay, so if we go back to the last chapter, okay, so this chapter is about classes, and we've been doing lots of classes already. It spends a little bit of time talking about properties, which it's important to know about properties, but you'll pick a lot of this stuff up just by using it. And but the last section of chapter 9 here is forms, how to add multiple forms to your project. And so in this explanation here, it shows you how to add new files to your project. Currently, we've just been using the default files that are created when we create a new Windows Forms project. That would be the form1.cs file and the form1.designer file that we use to do our graphical user interface. But there's lots of other reasons to add forms or add files to your project, and one of them is when you're adding another form. And so the important thing here is you add another forms file, and I'm going to do all this. You'll see it in a moment. And this thing pops up, and so you get another blank area there, and another .cs file is created for that second form. It looks exactly like the other one, and at the top is the same. It's got the same usings up at the top and the same namespace, and then it's got this public partial class, and then the name of the new form, dot form, and the reason it's a partial class is because this particular class is spread across 2 files because the screen part of it. But and then the main thing you got to know is a form is just like a class. It's just like a variable type. You know, when you create a new instance of a variable, or you create a new instance of a list or whatever, or a list box or anything. No, it's more like creating a new instance of a variable, because the form is a class, and so this is how you pop open the new form. First of all, you have to define a variable that's of the form class. Let me put my thing going here. First of all, you have to define a variable, which and so in this case, we've created a new form called error form. So there's an errorform.cs file, as you see up here, is errorform.cs file, and an errorform.cs design file that right now looks like this. And so this is how you create. This is how you make the form pop up. You have to create a new instance of this form. So you're defining an instance of error form, and the name of this instance is going to be called my error form. And that's equal to a new instance of an error form class. So now we have a new form called an error form, called my error form. And this is how you pop it up. Look, it looks just like messagebox.show, similar to that, except for it's not messagebox, it's my error form. And then it pops up, and then you can close it and all that. So the next assignment is going to go back to assignments 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I want to create multiple forms for the 3 tests. Okay, so let me open up a version of it. I'm going to go to mine, and I'm going to open up my assignment. This is the latest one. I couldn't find an assignment 7, so I'm going to open up an assignment 6 here. And there it is, and let me drag this to the desktop. And I'm going to name this, I'm just going to name it assignment 12. Go in here, and I don't know. I'm going to just open it up, see what we got. And I'm sure I will have to log in. Now what did I do wrong? All right, so when I run this right now, it looks like this. You recognize this. This is assignment 6. It does not have the features of assignment 7, one of which is that we add another text box here which says how many times to add X. And I don't think I don't think any of you actually got that one. Maybe one, but anyway, very small number of points. A fraction of a point was taken off if you didn't get that. But anyway, so the idea is, so I've got this, and I'm going to make instead of having, you know, do test 1, do test 2, do test 3, or do test 1, do 2, test 2, do test 3, for example, I'm going to have just an opening thing that's got 3 buttons, and the first button is going to execute this this first additions test. Let me open this up here. The first button is going to pop up a screen that shows this test here, this test. And the second box is going to open up this X value where you're doing the additions test. And the third button is going to open up the performance test, the precisions test. It's precision test is a better term for those 2 tests. You're comparing precisions of the 2 different types. And you can start with your project because it's just so easy. It's going to take me 15 minutes to do this, and then we're not going to have anything left to do for the rest of the hour, and I might end up letting you out early. But let's see how we do this. Okay. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to leave this form here. I'm just going to leave it in here, and I'm going to create all new forms. I'm going to create a new opening form. I'm going to create 3 more forms for the 3 different tests, and then I'm going to disconnect this form. So when it starts up, it doesn't start up with this form. It starts up with the other form, and this form might not ever be seen, or maybe we'll put a button on the new main form, which goes back to this one. So I'm going to start by creating a new form, and it's going to be my opening form. So I got to go over here, and I'm going to click on here. Oh, first of all, let me change the name of this. I'm going to rename this Assignment 11. And I'm going to rename this Assignment, oh, I'm sorry, 12. Oops, 12. Let's make it 12. 12. Rename 12. All right. So now I'm going to create a new form, a new main form. And we do have a convention for forms, for naming forms. It's the same kind of convention as we have for all the other objects that we have. So I'm going to create a new form. And so we go over here to add. And we can add a new item. Let's add a new item. You can actually go down right here to add Windows form. But I'm going to go add new item because I'm going to show you all the new items you can add. One item that we add, that we often add, that you're going to add a lot when you get to be a programmer and working on anything after 128, and that is you're going to be adding class files. It's just a new file .cs, and it's got the namespace header stuff up at the top, and it's a place where you're able to add classes. And but we aren't going to do that for this part. We're going to add a new Windows form here. So I'm going to click on this, and instead of calling it form2.cs, there's form1.cs over here. I'm going to name it FRM main form, and it creates a FRM main form.cs, and here it is right here. All right, so I'm going to now I'm going to add some buttons on here, and when I make the assignment, I'm going to have you put your name up here. I'm going to have you put some other stuff up here, but here I'm just doing the mechanics part. So let me pop open a toolbox here, and let me pin it, and let me open up the common controls, and I'm going to have a button over here which is going to start the division. The first one's divisions test, right? Test 1 divisions test, and looks like that. And I'm going to name the button BTN divisions test. Okay, that's the first one. And then I'm going to make a second one, and a third one, and one more, and an exit. Okay, so this is the second one, And this is going to be BTN additions test. And this is going to, the other one, and it's going to say, I'm going to make it say that. Test 2, additions test. This is going to be test 3. This is going to be pop open the old form, and this is going to be exit. Okay, so this is going to be test 3 is going to be precisions test. That was the you're comparing double precision or double variables with decimal variables, and you're doing something which shows you the difference in precision. That's test 3, and this one can be display old form, original, or legacy. I'll call it legacy form. And this is just going to be exit. Quit. All right, let's name these things. This is named buttons divisions test, button additions test, button BTN precision tests, precision tests, whatever, precision test, whatever. BTN legacy, form, and BTN quit. All right, here's my nice form, my new form. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's make forms to correspond with this one, and this one. So let's open up a new one here. Go over here, right click, add, and I'm going to go right to Windows Form, and I'm going to name it FRM division test. There we go, FRM division test. And I go over here, and I'm going to do new, add, Windows Form, FRM additions test. And I'm going to go over here again, and I'm going to add a new form, Windows Form. And I'm going to name this FRM precision test. All right, now I've got these 3 forms. This is my old one, and I'm going to take stuff off of this one. Here's the main form, and this divisions test, additions test. Okay, so just to see how these things work, let's get the form pop-up thing to work. Oh, I know. Let's get the legacy form to pop up first. So I'm going to double-click on legacy form. And I'm going to do, so here's how I make it pop up. I go, I have to create a new, and it's called Form 1. Form 1, okay. Now, I recommend you changing the name of that to something else, but just to exemplify that this is, I wonder if I could change this namespace. See, I've got the same namespace now, and all these have, if you look at the view code, they all have the same namespace. I'm going to see if I can change the namespace and see if I can do that. Rename. Ooh, 13 references and 13 files. Yes, I'm going to change the namespace to Halverson _ assignment _ 11. No, 12. just because I want to. Apply. All right, now it's and all of them. See there, look at that. Let's look at this one. View code. See, they're all changed the namespace. All right, so so let's go back to what I was doing here. This thing, and double click on that, and here we are. And I'm going to do create a new form. So form 1. I'm going to create a new variable called form1 type, and I'm going to call this legacy form equals new form1. Okay. So I've created this variable. I've created a new instance of form1. Well, let's just see this. Then to make it show up, I go legacy form dot show dialog that. That makes it pop open. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to make my opening form be this form and not this form. How do I do that? Well, I'm sure there's a Visual Studio 2017 way of doing it, but the older way to do it, or the direct way to do it, or the coding way of doing it, is you go over to the program.cs file, which we've never really been in before. But if you look at the program.cs file, this is the thing that executes at the very beginning. And what it does is it does some stuff, and then it runs new form. It runs form1. Or it creates a new instance of form1, and that's what pops up, the first instance of form1. And so I want to change this to main, FRM main form, that. So now when the thing starts up, it's going to open up my new main form instead of the other form. And then we can click the button to bring up the old one. So let's see if this works. Start. And look, here's my new main form, and let me click legacy form. Oop, there it is. Oh, there's pretty nice, yeah. All right, okay, I'm gonna exit this and close it off, and we see that now works. Okay, I can close this program.cs because I'm not gonna be in there anymore. Now I'm gonna start copying this stuff over to the to each respective form. So this is main form.cs. Let me start with the division test. So let me go to where is division test? Divisions test. Here we go. This one. So what do I want on this form? Well, let's go to my form.cs one, and I want these things. And I think I'll grab an execute button here. So I'm gonna grab that, and I'll grab an exit. Oh, and I'll grab output here. Okay, I'm gonna grab these things, and I'm not gonna cut them. I'm gonna copy them. So I'm gonna do Control C, and then I'm gonna go over to division test, and I'll make sure it's big enough. And I'm gonna do a paste, and there they are. Very good. And by the way, since these are all on a new form, when you view the code, oh, never mind. That's not what I meant to show you. What I meant to show you was that the names of these are the same names as they were on the other one. Look, this is TXT max discount, just like before. And that's because we copied them over, and there is no, on this form, there is no TXT max discount %, so it just left the name the same. So fortunately, all these things are the same name, even output goes here. So now all we have to do is copy over the code, and it should work because the names are all the same. First of all, let's make this look nicer. Put this up here, and I'm going to put an execute button here, and I'll put an exit button here, and I'll put this output goes here, right over here. And I can make this a little smaller, like that. All right, so that's that. And now let me go over to my form.cs and let's view the code. And I want to copy over the code connected to these things. So let's view the code. And that would be this button test. Now you probably have it. I noticed in a lot of your programs, you have it in a lot of places. And I noticed that for almost all of you, the place where it was the most advanced or had the most features was in the list box test because when I was doing these problems in class, I would just copy the same code over again. I don't really want you to do that in this assignment. I want you just to have one version of the code to do the function that is requested. So I'm going to go down to the latest one, which would probably be not the checkboxes, but probably this list box one, which is probably this one here. Let's see. Yeah, list box function. Okay, so this here looks like this is the first test. Oh, it's case 0. Oh, case 0 is this one, and this one. You remember I used the curly braces to make it so it's to make two different namespaces for these two different scopings, excuse me, two different scopings, so I could use the same variable name. Here I use max discount percent, and here I use max discount percent. The reason I'm able to do this is because I enclose each of these sections in curly braces. So anyway, I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to go over to my division test code, which is right here. Oh, I better go back. Oh, shoots. Where is it? Where's the design for it? Division test design. It is when this button is executed, and I got to make sure this is named. Oh, it says button execute checkboxes. I'm going to change it to button execute. Just plain old button execute. And it just says execute. All right, so when this button is clicked on, I want it to execute. So I'm going to double click on this button, and it creates an event handler place here, method for an event handler. And I'm just going to paste my copied code, paste, and here it is. So I just copied this over, and so this, you recall, does the first divisions test. Wonder why. Wonder why this doesn't exist in the current context. Max discount percent. Let me, I need to grab it out. Where is it grabbed out? It's grabbed out. Where's the main form? Oops. Here. I need this up here. I need these up here also. I need max discount. I need these three. I need these three. Okay, let's put these three back in here. I'm going to put this up here. So when the button is clicked, this grabs out max discount percent from the max discount percent text box, which is named appropriately already because we just copied it from the other one. That would be here. It's this, txt max discount percent. And then this is the markup percent. This is the nice factor. And look here, this does the single factor division test, and this does the double no, this does the integer, this does the integer division, and this does the double division. And you're supposed to see that there's a difference, that it calculates differently. The result is different. All right. All right, and then so that's that. Let me go back to the test. This is the design. I'm going to move this over to next to that. And so I want to make this exit work. So I'm going to double click on, what is exit? Just says BTN exit. I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to say this close. There, that should work. All right, so let's try this. I'm going to start it up and do division test. Click. Oh, I forgot to hook that up. Let me go back to the main form and double click on division test. Here it is, and I have to do FRM division test. I'm going to create a new division test variable called div test, and that's going to equal a new division FRM division test. And I need to div test show dialog. All right, that's going to pop up the dialog box. Let me start it up again, click on this, this thing pops up, and I can just click execute, and look at that, executes away. What do you know? What do you know? Exit. All right, that works. Let's make the other ones work. Let me go back to the main form, and I'm going to double click on additions test, and I'm going to say FRM additions test, a new add test equals new FRM additions test, and add test show dialog. Okay, that does the additions test, and let me do the precisions test, FRM precision test, new pris test. Why does it look like that? Press test show dialog. That takes care of that button. Oops, not this. And this one's already done, and this one X quit. This close. Close. Okay, so now it looks like all the buttons are set. And by the way, this is all this form. Okay, so this is all this form needs to have. So let's go and fix the other forms. For the second test, I'm going to want these two things, and I'll take an execute and an exit, and an output goes here, and I'll copy this and go over to this is additions test, and I'm going to paste. And I'm going to put the X value thing up here, and I'm also going to put where you're supposed to put the number of times that the thing adds. Also it's also the multiplier. So I'm going to say so this is fine. I'm going to make a copy of this. Oops, I didn't get one copy. And I'm going to put I'm going to say that this is going to be, where's the text? Number of additions or something. And this should be an integer, and the default was 10. And it's not called text box 1, it's called txt number of additions. And then there's an execute button, and there's an exit button. And let's name this execute button, let's name it just execute, btn execute. And let's exit's fine. Output goes here is fine. And I need to copy some code. I'll make this a little smaller. And I need to copy some code. Let me go over to form1 dots, not this, but this. And I need to copy, I guess I should copy X factor, this thing. And that's going to go in oh, where is that now? I need to double click on this. Here we are. It's first thing, okay, that goes there. It grabs it out. We also need equals txt number of additions.txt. I'll just put that there and I'll come back to it. And then I'm going to go here and copy out the case 1, which is this. Just going to copy this like this. That's fine if it's got some in there. We are doing the additions test, this one. And so that can go right here. I actually don't need these. And so this is going to be number of additions, and the try parse that. Let me do another if int try parse num additions input comma out num additions, and I need to create a variable for that, int num additions. And so this is going to grab it out, and if that ends up being okay, then I can do this other stuff here. And so this should actually be result times num additions. And this should really be result equal for int I equals 0, I less than num additions, I plus plus, result 2 equals result 2 plus x. And we're going to start out with 0. So this adds x number of additions times, and this just simply multiplies it by x. So the numbers should be the same, right? But when doing this, you see that it's not the same, because in the base 10 to base 2 to base 10 conversion, we drop off a little bitty bit at the end, and it ends up being not quite this times this in most cases. All right, so that takes care of that. Oh, we should probably have some error here. Else message box show please enter an integer for the number of additions. And we should have, oh, please enter a double. Okay, great. So that works. All right, it should work. Okay, let's, might as well try it. Start. Ooh, errors. Expected, line 38. 38. Ooh, there we go. Oh, that got taken off. Okay, let's try it again. And additions test. Multiply, execute it. That's right. Let's do 100 times. Ooh, more drop off. Oh no, same. Let's do 1,000. Yeah, right. Let's do 0.15. Wow, there's a big difference there. So the idea is that when we're just multiplying this by 1,000, we get 150, you know, almost. That's interesting. Okay, anyway, so that looks like, ooh, the exit doesn't work. So let's close this, and I need to make the exit work. What time is it? That would be this thing. Oh, double click this, close. Okay, so that one works. The last one we got to get precisions test. So to do that, let's go back over to here and let's grab precisions test, and that would be these two things. All right, so let me go to precisions test. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Get rid of this. Additions test. I'm done with additions. I don't know why it's. Close the additions test. Oh, precisions test. Okay, so I'm gonna put. Okay, so first of all, let me grab what I need to grab from here. No, not from here. From here, that would be this plus this plus this plus this. Copy, and I'm gonna go over to precision test and paste it over here. So this is here, and I'm going to change this to execute. Do you remember there's two tests? There's the doing this thing where you add a bunch of times using a double precision number, and this one uses a decimal precision number. So I'm going to make a double and a decimal on here. That would be right. Let me find. Okay, so I'm going to make this execute double. Execute double. And the name of it is going to be, oh, that's the name. And the text inside is going to be execute double precision test or something like that. Some such thing. Make this a little bigger. How's that? And I'm going to do copy paste. Why not? And this is going to say execute decimal precision. Decimal. And the name of this is going to be btn execute decimal. All right. So let's double click on the double precision test, and this thing opens up. And let's go over to this CS file, and let's copy this double precision stuff here. And let me put that over into here. This is double. I need some more stuff though, don't I? I need some stuff up here, like grabbing this stuff. Let me put that here. I need iterations. Int iterations. Oh, I got to fix this. Use system diagnostics. Okay. So this does the double, and then let me go back to here and double click on this one. And this is going to do the decimal. So let me grab that. Excuse me. This one. Copy this. Copy. And oops, this one. Paste. And that looks like that all works out. And you notice that, okay, and then let's get the exit to work. Double click, and this. Close. Oh. All right. Let's see if this works. Start. Ooh, errors. It's all on line 50 of form precision test. Line 50. Iterations. Oh. Oh. Oh, I can't have that outside there. That's right. Gotta be. So I just got to put this inside this one. Okay, now let's try it. Division test. Execute, execute. Yeah, that works. Oh, I should make that look better. Okay, exit. What does this one look like? Execute. I got to get rid of that output. Exit. Precisions test. Double test. This test. Exit. Legacy form. Fine. Exit. Quit. I need to make the label go away when you open it up. It's got to be in a. It's got to be in a load. Event load handler. Yeah, the load event handler. So let's go to each one of these things. This one, okay, this one I want to make it so when it comes up, it's going to blank out this thing. So I'm going to just double click out here, double click, and this is the load handler, and I'm going to say LBL output text equals nothing. And I'm gonna put that in I'm gonna put that in a load handler for every one of these things. Precision test, division test is gonna be, I gotta go to not this one, not this one. Division test, no. I just did this one. Okay, I got to go back to my Solution Explorer. All right, so in additions test, I'll double click on that one. I'll make a load handler, paste. Division test, double click, paste. That should be it. All right, so now let's see what happens. Division test, good, it's blank. Very good. Additions test, good, it's blank. Precisions test, blank. Legacy form, quit. Okay. Let's see. So did you catch all that? All right, I'll put this video up right now so I don't have to edit anymore. And so before I do that, I think I'm going to close up. So let me click this again, continue recording, click on this again. Click OK, and we're back to sharing my screen. So let me exit this. I'm going to do save all, and then I'm going to exit. And here it is, my assignment 12. So I'm going to right-click and go to send to compressed file. And I'm going to open up my Laulima again, and I'm going to go to my Dropbox. Here it is, Actions, Upload Files, and I'm going to drag my zip file over there so I have it for next time, assignment 12. All right. So are there any more questions? Yes. Okay. Why don't I close this out and answer your question? So thanks for watching.